Hey everyone! Today I'm diving into something that is very personal to me because I've experienced this in my own jobs, in my own business, and even in my own relationships. We are talking about the power of communication. How expressing your thoughts and needs clearly can lead to better understanding with people and avoid those misunderstandings that you can have with your boss, with your coworkers, with your friends, with your partner, you name it. What I used to think was that emotions were reactions to something that I did. But after studying psychology and behavioral science, I realized that emotions were just tools that people used to get something that they want. Stick with me and I'll break it all down. So let's get started. When it comes to communication, there are three major communication styles or types. The first one is passive communication style. The second one is assertive, and the third and the opposite one from the first one is the aggressive communication type. Think of it like a spectrum. Some people can be on the first scale, and other people can lean towards the end or the middle. Often this is shaped by childhood and their past experiences. The real question is, how can we identify our communication style so we can become better communicators? And how can we identify other people's communication style so we can have a better communication with them and we can understand them better? So let's start with the first one, the passive communicator. The passive communicator is on 1 to 5 on the scale. They are people who prioritize other people's needs over their own. They usually have low self-confidence and they are people pleasers. They don't know how to say no. Let me give you an example. If you're a passive communicator and someone asks you to borrow your car, but you need that car that day, instead of rejecting them and because you need that car that day, you say something like this. Yes, of course you can have my car. Do you need help with your bags? Like, this is exactly what a passive communicator would say, because they prioritize your needs over their own. It's like even though they go against themselves. That is passive communication and it's not doing you any favors. On the opposite end, we have the aggressive communicators. And I suppose you already know what does that mean. That means that they express their needs with anger. And not just that, they just think about their needs and they don't think about others people's needs. They feel like they are the superior ones in every situation, and they are really aggressive. They have a loud voice. They want to bring attention, etc., etc. So in a situation where someone needs to borrow your car, you would say something like this: "No way I'm giving you my car today. I need my car." And you can say from their reaction that they are kind of like aggressive towards you. They don't care about your need. So you want to be somewhere in the middle. You want to be the assertive one, communicator. You want to respect others, but also respect your own needs first. So in a situation like that, you would say something like, I need my car for today, but I can give you a lift if that helps. And it's simple and it's respectful and it's good for the both sides. I've been in a situation when a coworker of mine used to act upset and depressed. She might even start crying in a situation where she had a lot of work to do and she felt a lot of pressure. And that is a real problem. And instead of using her words, she used her emotions to get what she wanted. And what did the manager do? He took off her work, so she would have less work to do, and that is the way that they solve that problem. And we don't want to be that manager, of course, because we want to help employees on a long term. We don't want to help them in the short term. So the only way to solve this problem in the right way is to train your employees to use their words in a situation when they have problem. How would you train them? So this is where the psychology comes. People actually have coping mechanisms, as we know. For example, in this situation, she used her coping mechanism that was learned through her past experiences, that if she starts crying, someone will take off her work and she will do less work. Yeah, that is what people do. She's been reinforced in the past by her past bosses that if she starts crying or she acts pissed or she acts upset or whatever, people will take her work or they will give her less work. This is exactly why we don't want to minimize the work when they're doing something like this, when they do use their emotions. And that, as a boss or as a manager, is your responsibility to take care of. By understanding what happens and changing your reaction to their emotions, you can actually have the capability to create a better company by simply not allowing employees to manipulate you. I have another example of people who have the aggressive communication type, and those are usually bosses. I was in a situation where the manager didn't have a lot of influence over the people, and instead of formulating an argument to explain something, he would use his anger. We are in a meeting and people don't listen to him. In a situation like that, he used his anger, and that actually worked, because even though people didn't understand what he was saying, they would just fold because they were scared of his anger. He used his anger as a tool to make people agree with him and do their jobs. All of this comes to one core issue. People lack communication skills and they use their emotions to get what they want. The only way to break from that cycle is to not respond when somebody uses emotion to get what they want, and only respond when they use words. You need to train your team by asking them questions. You need to ask questions over and over again to prompt them until they're able to prompt themselves. And the more unexperienced the person is, the more questions you should ask. And eventually you will get to the root of their skill deficit. Because the reality is that they themselves don't even know what's the problem. They just get emotional and they don't even know why. So you need to teach them how to communicate their needs clearly and confidently. If you want more insight into how to go from passive to assertive or from aggressive to assertive, I can make another video on that. I'll dive deeper into the psychological side of that, meaning what happens in your mind and body, why you may lean on one way or another, and most importantly, how to shift towards assertiveness for better relationships and more success. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up so I will know that I'm creating something valuable to you, and that is how I will create more content. Drop a comment below with your thoughts and questions, and maybe share some experience of yours when you were in a situation like this. So this will be the end of our discussion. I just wanted to share this with you because I think that this is a very important topic, and you, as a person who wants to focus on their self-development and be a better person, should learn these things. See you next time.